Hey everybody, it's Lavender Town, and this is my series where I turn random stuff into cute girls, and today we're doing cryptids. Some of you may be asking, why would you do this? But I don't have an answer for you. Regardless, we're starting with Bigfoot because that's the cryptid that most people know about. Basically, a cryptid is like an urban myth about like a specific species of animal that's not scientifically documented. So other cryptids include like the Jersey Devil or the Loch Ness Monster. Bigfoot is one of the only cryptids alongside aliens that are high enough profile that people are still like making TV shows trying to find them and stuff like that. One of those shows actually even came to my hometown recently and went onto the mountain that we have near our town looking for Sasquatch. They only found a baby moose, but still, it was kind of cool. So the very first thing I wanted to establish in this character is that like signature Bigfoot shamble from the like first picture that someone took of Bigfoot. So this is with that like arm sort of swung forward and the other arm swung back. I just tried to copy that because I thought that would be sort of a funny addition to the character design. I also wanted her hair to be really big and crazy because obviously she's living in the woods, and also because I mean Bigfoot is completely covered in hair. So even if I'm going to turn her into a human character, I still want her to have lots and lots of hair. I also added some patches of fur in various places just to add to that Bigfoot fuzziness. I put a few twigs in her hair too. I think it just makes her look more cute and like she's been sort of stuck in the forest for a long time. And I wanted her to look camera shy in her expression just because cryptids are always taken like with really blurry photographs as if they're trying to get away from the camera. So I definitely wanted to make her seem really camera shy and like she's just trying to mind her own business and you're the weirdo taking photos of her. I decided to make her eyes green like the forest and the rest of her like hair and stuff to be brown like the Sasquatch. I guess in the original photo it almost looks like completely black like a gorilla, but in most Sasquatch footage that has been later taken or hoaxed, it's usually a brown color. I put some nice coniferous trees around because that's the type of forest that we always see these Bigfoot sightings appearing in. And basically I just I feel kind of bad for her, honestly. Like I feel like she really was minding her own business. I imagine personality wise she would be like the hippie type. She'd definitely love like granola bars and peanut butter and berries and stuff, and she's just living her natural life out in the woods. Now that she's done, all she needs is a name. Let me know if you have one for me and I might pick it because I can't keep calling her Babefoot. That's not acceptable. So next up I wanted to do gray aliens, and while aliens have been described in lots of different ways, gray aliens seem to be a way that people routinely describe them in abduction and sighting stories from like the 60s onward. So they're a really good example of like a cryptid or an urban legend. So they're usually described with a really small body and a really big head with big eyes and a small nose and mouth. They're kind of like anime characters in the way that they're described. So this actually translated to a cute girl really well. I was mostly excited about doing her outfit. As much as I liked drawing our Babefoot Sasquatch girl completely running around in the buff because I think that is funny, I wanted to do clothes really badly after that first one, so I decided to clothe all the other ones. And I decided that I was going to have her do this like sort of grayish bob right up by her cheekbones because I thought it would round out her face the best. These aliens have really big like cranium areas and really small jaws, so I thought that having a little bit of hair up there at that level would help make that silhouette work a little bit better and make her still look like a human. And then I gave her 51 earrings like Area 51. I kind of pictured her as like she's like an alien girl that we have here who's like really into the X-Files and stuff, but for Earth. So I gave her a shirt that says I want to believe and then a little picture of the Earth, and I gave her a UFO abduction skirt. So basically it's like this big puffy pleplume skirt, I think is what it's called, and then it has like this opaque shift underneath it that looks like the beam of a UFO that comes down to like abduct people or cows or whatever. And then I gave her these like moon boots, but I did them black so that she's like the reverse of an astronaut, if that makes any sense. I think she turned out really cute. I especially like her full body shot. I feel like her face face is a little weird in the closer up shot, but I like her sort of plaintive, shy wave. I think that that's really cute. And she's very petite because these gray aliens have extremely small body to head ratios, so I had to try to sort of simulate that with this character. I feel like personality-wise, she would be the adventurous type. She would be the type who would like sneak onto a spaceship so that she could go see Earth, but then when she actually got there, she'd probably be really shy. And she's got to be super smart. But like definitely book smart, not necessarily street smart. I mean, even if she was street smart on her planet, she wouldn't be street smart here. Next up is Mothman. Now this is one of the weirder ones. Our moth maiden is going to have big giant wings. That's one of the biggest things that we know about Mothman. Mothman also has glowing red eyes. That seems to be another consistent detail. And generally people just describe this cryptid as looking like a guy, like a dude-shaped creature, sort of flying around or with these giant wings, like 7-foot wingspan wings on the back, and super dark. Usually you can only see the eyes sort of glowing forward, which was kind of a difficulty. Like when I was looking it up, it just kind of looks like a shadowy demon kind of character, and I was surprised to see that it didn't look more like a moth. There is a statue of Mothman that looks more like a moth, but generally when you actually look at the urban legends and the like sightings, people don't necessarily describe the wings as moth-like. They're more like sort of tattered bat-like, I would say. So that's kind of what I went with here. Honestly, she's shaping up to mostly just look like a demon of some kind, but that's kind of what Mothman looks like, to be honest. There's a few different explanations for why so many people would suddenly see this grand, scary-looking man-sized creature flying around. Apparently, there was a type of stork that could have potentially been in the area that has red markings around the eyes and is very large. So that's possibly an explanation, but there's also a lot of sightings that were closer than that and say that it definitely looked like a dude with wings. So basically all I had to go on was that it was roughly human shaped and it had this type of wing. So for the rest of it, I decided to just have fun with it. I decided to give her more moth-like tendencies or attributes. So I gave her these like big tufts of hair that sort of stick out the top, so it would look like the fluffy antenna that moths have. There's no description of that with Mothman. I wanted to add it. And I decided to make her skin like this like charcoal-y kind of color, so she'd blend in the nighttime really well, because that seems to be when people generally saw Mothman. And they never describe any other color other than like darkness, so I was sure that she probably wasn't like a super pale character. And I just generally try to focus on the eyes and keeping everything else pretty dark. I gave her this sort of femme fatale dress because Mothman does have some sort of like death omen reputation as showing up right before like big natural disasters or major events. So she definitely ended up looking the creepiest. Last up is the Loch Ness monster. Now this is probably the second most iconic cryptid in the world. I remember being really into this myth. Like, this is one of the only ones that I like really wanted to believe. This and Megalodon. There's something about like a huge creature living in the water that I just felt like was more believable as a kid. And I just really wanted to believe that somehow like a dinosaur had survived in the Loch for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years somehow. It just seemed like a really magical thing. So basically for her, I wanted her to be this very cute character. I wanted her to look a little dinosaur-like, and obviously have to do with the water because this is our only water-based cryptid for the video. I really wanted to do Megalodon because that's like probably my favorite cryptid of all time, because Megalodon isn't even really a cryptid. It's sort of a cryptid in the same sense as the Loch Ness monster, where like people think it's a dinosaur that has survived. It looks almost exactly like some types of like aquatic or amphibious dinosaurs. So it's like that, but Megalodon actually did exist. Whether or not Megalodon still exists is probably a no, but man, there's something spooky about thinking there's a giant shark that could eat blue whales in the ocean somewhere. So I wanted to give her a swimsuit. I decided her hobby is photography. Again, sort of just memeing off of the whole thing about cryptids being impossible to film. So she would probably be a klutz who's really bad at taking pictures. Or maybe she takes really crisp pictures and it's like the ultimate irony to everyone who tries to take photos of her. I wanted her to be kind of chubby, just because, I don't know, the Loch Ness Monster is massive, and I just thought it would be a cute look for her. And I gave her this big water floaty that looks like a little brontosaurus kind of creature, and I decided to really lean in on like the aquatic mermaid-like look for her, so I made everything very like seaweedy color. Obviously a loch is not an ocean, so it's more like lakey. It's freshwater, I think. So I tried to make it murkier and more swamp-like in her color palette, and I gave her like orange blush. I just think that looks friggin' adorable. And I love her big chunky legs. Like, this has got to be my favorite one in the whole video. And I gave her lots and lots of shines. I just feel like she should be shiny because water and stuff. So here's how they all turned out. I think they look really, really cute. I really enjoyed doing this video. I'm just obsessed with cryptids and urban legends. I hope you guys had a good time too. I'm going to be at VidCon in only a matter of days, so if you're going to VidCon, definitely say hi if you see me. I'll be giving out some little enamel pins too to anyone who comes up to me, so until I run out of those, you can definitely get one of those as well. Thank you to my patrons, including Bella Story, Calpompone, Clockwork Construct, Dope Elephant Art, Dr. Casket, Elizabeth Album, Greer the Animator, Imagine Creation, Ivan Rodriguez, JJJ, Joseph Copel, Justin, Carla Tapia, Katie Marigold, Kiertadern, The Blah Blah Blah, Micah Dactyl, Mr. Dr. Pants, Nora Corneliusen, Naratothep, Okemore, Ollie, Post-it Pixie, Rosie Warlock, Sergeant Pendulum, The Artsy Moose, Yaboy ST, and Zoe Stardust.